Hi Booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I am here today to talk about the fear of missing out on Booktube. I got a comment recently. It's the second time I've received this comment from two different people on two different videos who said, the struggle is real. And that has motivated me to make this video, and I really want to hear from you, like what you're most afraid of missing out on. I think for people who have booktube channels, it's a little bit different. Like sometimes there's the fear of missing out in other ways. But as I think most of the people watching this channel don't have a booktube channel, I'm gonna try to keep it broad and so that that doesn't really play a factor into it. But I actually have been thinking about the fear of missing out for months now, because I knew that I was going to start the year with this book, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, and is over 1,000 pages long, and I really did not want to wait until March of the Mammoths, knowing that this was like looming in my future, wondering how long it's going to take me to read it. I'm like, I'm just going to start this in January, and then however long it takes me to read it is how long it takes me to read it. And so yeah, like it's a choice that I've made because this is kind of a bucket list book for me. So I just wanted to read it, but like I said, at the same time, I knew that that meant that I was going to be missing out on some things because I've made this choice over other things. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, recognizing that and thinking about that for months now has really kind of made me think about what ways we are afraid of missing out on things on Booktube. And I recently mentioned that I felt bad because I hadn't been watching very much Booktube in the last week or so. The end of the year, there's so many great, exciting videos to watch. But like I have realized that, yeah, like the Booktubers who I watch all of their videos by, like, I'm behind. Now, I think there's some easy ways to fix this. I think if there's a certain booktuber that you're really concerned about missing one of those videos, that you make sure you hit the little bell and get notifications when they post videos. And me personally, like I just have not used the watch later playlist, and I don't know why, but I just haven't. And so I'm gonna try to turn that around, so that then I can make those videos a priority and I don't feel so much like I'm missing out on seeing my favorite booktube channel videos. The other thing that has been interesting, and I guess I don't know, like it's only been a recent kind of revelation to me, is the fear of missing out on certain books that are like really being hyped, or I don't know. I'm not someone who reads new releases. I rarely, if I read a book that's been published in the last like 2 years, that's really good for me. There's a couple examples of fear of missing out. And these sticky tabs are Jason's, not mine, but I'm like maybe the last person on Booktube. I still haven't read Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. And it's not so much that it's a newer release, but the fact that like so many people whose opinion I really value, and we share similar tastes in books, have told me how great this is. And I'm like, why haven't I gotten to this? But I just haven't. And you know what? It was in a weird part of our library, like it was on top of one of the bookshelves. I'm not sure why. But yeah, so I didn't even put this on my high priority TBR for this year. So yeah, another thing is there's actually a fear of missing out book club. That is hosted by Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, Jack at Spread Book Joy, and Gem of Books. And right now, well, I think they read I Capture the Castle, which I don't own, but that is definitely a book I've heard good things about and I want to read, but I didn't participate in their book club. And now they're reading Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier, and I got this, I think, in a little free library or my parents' house. I'm not sure. I don't think it's ever been read. The spine is really, really tight. So I would love to participate in their book club and read this, but I can't because I'm reading this instead. Look at this. So it's just one of those things. It's a bit disappointing sometimes when things don't work out. And speaking of book clubs, I think the third area is more like event related, which I think could include book clubs. There's a lot more book clubs on Booktube now, or at least that I'm aware of anyway, than there were when I started Booktube. And so, yeah, Kate Howe is another person. She has a book club. It might be connected to her Patreon account, but they're reading some books this year that, wow, yeah, I would really love to read. But I just know I'm not going to be able to participate in that, which, again, it's kind of a choice, but for me, the biggest area as far as fear of missing out is event related, and primarily like readathons. Now, again, I will say, since starting this channel in 2018, there are way more events on Booktube now than ever before. I mean, there used to be months where, I don't know, there might be like a couple small events, like a week-long reading event, which I wouldn't participate in anyway. I think because I knew I was picking Les Mis, I didn't want to wait till March of the Mammoths. I just wanted to read the book. And so again, like, I would love, there are so many great Booktube events in March, especially. There's March Mystery Madness, there's middle grade March of the Mammoths. Oh my gosh, I'm missing another really big one. There's the Welsh one, and then the Irish Readathon. And I love all of, like, I haven't ever participated in the Welsh Readathon, which is like it's like Dewey-a-thon or something like that. I've never participated in that, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't love to. I would want to. So yeah, I think for me, like, the fear of missing out on events, especially because not all events like make it to year 2, and there is something about participating in these events that is, you get to meet some new people, you get to interact with new people, you discover channels that you didn't know existed, and it's just really, really fun. I enjoy it so much. Jane Austen July, I missed, I think, the first 2 years I was on Booktube. I got midway through July, the second year I was on Booktube, and I was just like, how did I miss this? So, yeah, and of course, Victober is just a huge event, Nonfiction November, so there's a lot of really great events, and I think for myself, the way that I handle that fear of missing out is just recognizing the fact that I make reading choices, and I also know I can't do everything. I can't, like, as much as I would love to. And there's a couple people out there, and I love them for this. I love it because I call them the joiners. Like, they participate in everything there. And that may mean they're hosting everything or they're somehow involved, but they participate in tons and tons of events. And I just can't do it, you know, and I've accepted that. After 4.5 years on Booktube, like, I've accepted the fact that, like, yeah, I'm just not going to be a big part of that particular event for whatever reason. And if I might feel differently about it if I didn't have, you know, other things in my life going on. Yeah, so that's kind of how I have sort of reconciled myself to that. I will also add, though, there is a new channel that's kind of hosted by multiple people called the Booktube Bulletin Board. I think the first video came out in mid-December with what events were happening in January, and I hope they get to the point where maybe they're sharing those events a month out, because it is nice to plan, right? Like, we do need time to plan for those things. I think it could be a really valuable tool, but I do think for events, like, man, it would be nice to have a little more lead time. For instance, if I am going to participate in any events in March, which means that I will have finished this by the end, I will know that I will be done with this hopefully by the end of February, beginning of March. I would love to post a TBR video about what I am going to participate in March and what I am going to be reading. And so, yeah, but I hope it may be a last minute TBR. I'm not entirely sure. Finally, the last thing is, you know, we participate in Booktube events. Some of us make videos, we comment, we watch Booktube, we watch YouTube. We do all of that, but the time we spend doing that means that we're not reading. So, yeah, like, I could have spent the minutes I've made reading this, and then eventually the minutes that it's going to take me to edit this video and then upload it, means that's time that I'm not reading this. And I can't read it constantly anyway. Like, I need to take, like, a little bit of a breather sometimes, especially with really big books. So yeah, again, it's just one of those things. And I think for content creators, that is much more of an issue, because if you don't read anything, what do you talk about? Do you make videos like this instead? So, I mean, I have definitely had, I wouldn't say anxiety, but a little bit of concern about how many, like, Friday or Saturday reads videos I'm gonna make where I'm still reading the same huge book. And so I'm gonna have to get a little creative with that, which is okay. And it'll be fun to talk about some different things on those videos. But yeah, so those are some of the things that I experience in terms of, like, fear of missing out. And I would really, really love to hear from you. Like, what are you most afraid of missing out on Booktube, and what are your strategies, or how have you resolved those kinds of issues, or you know, are they unresolved? Are you still wrestling it? Because yeah, the struggle is real. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I would really look forward to hearing what you have to say in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, I'm so glad you're here, and the comments section is a very safe space, but if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, you can leave an emoji or give this video a thumbs up, just as a way to say hello so that I know you're here. I do really, really appreciate that. Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will be back soon with another video. Take care. Bye.